to Senior Flicks. This is a segment on advice, expert advice, and we're privileged to have Jessica with us. Jessica is a nurse manager here at Shepherd Village. She's the assistant director here for the village, and she comes with experience and expertise. We are going to be talking about infection control. We want to know, really, seriously, we're working our way through this pandemic. We've been at it for a couple of years, and you've been with us here at the village for how long?
About a year and 2 months.
Year and 2 months?
Yes.
And this is actually the first time that we've really seen each other, correct?
That's right. I was quite amazed to see your face.
And you as well.
Yeah.
We, as you know, in the community and everybody around us will know, we know people by their eyes, but we don't know them by their face. And we are hoping that in the next few months, we can actually move away from some of the serious restrictions that we've had and the isolation. We are not out of the woods yet. And Jessica, your background is in infection control. It's called IPAC. What does IPAC actually mean?
Well, IPAC is Infection Prevention and Control. And it's a body that really looks at how do we prevent infection. It's really about prevention, because the moment we get to control, then we've gone a little bit too far. Okay. So what we want to learn and in our daily life is how do we prevent, how do we decrease risk, how do we assess our risk before we do anything. And in this case, I work with in the long-term care side.
Right.
But mainly in the village, I see our seniors around, and I like to chat with them around how to protect yourself and stay safe.
Right. There have been often times when our department, our senior or our spiritual life department has needed to know when we would put somebody else at risk and when we don't. How do we conduct ourselves? And Jessica, we've often sat down with you and said, okay, Jessica, we want to do some of these things for the seniors. They want us to do it as well. We want to do some programming. We want to do some visits. But we need to be safe. They need to be safe. And that's been part of your task, is just sharing with everybody, making sure that they are safe. Do you do some of the audits on the floor, and what does an audit actually mean when you're doing that?
Part of the audits that we do is making sure, most important, especially now with the Omicron and this virus that we've been fighting, all of us, for the past couple of years, masks and how the masks are being worn. Right. So a lot of us, sometimes you don't know because you're so used to having the mask on your face. Right. It's almost become like a skin, a second skin on your face. But sometimes these masks can be quite tricky, and you have to be cognizant of how it's fitting your face. For example, you want to make sure that when you put your mask on, it's covering your nose, it's covering all around your skin, so that you're not only protecting yourself, but you're also protecting others that are coming closer to you. Right. As you all know, Pastor Ron, this COVID, it's not, it's not me, it's not you, it's all of us. Right. And with the seniors and with the spiritual life department, we're always, looking at how do we create that safe space for residents to be able to have this spiritual experience with our spiritual life department, but in a safe way. So distancing, but also being there to read a Bible verse together, but in a safe way, making sure the resident has a mask on properly that's covering their nose, and having that safe distance, but not too far. Right. I'm gonna ask that someone would be able to bring us a mask so that you can demonstrate. Absolutely. Because there are different ways. I've seen them. Well, I've seen masks under the chin. I've seen it too.
you have a master's in nursing. My wife is a nurse. She does quality and risk management.
Right.
And we're driving down the street. My wife will often say, they might as well not have their mask on.
Absolutely.
The way that they're wearing it. And so perhaps you could demonstrate that for us. And Tassine, who is our chaplain, is going to give you one of those masks.
Thank you. Thank you, Tassine.
Show us first of all, maybe show us what not to do, okay? Because I think I'm comfortable with, it's just sort of a natural not to do it right. Show us what we often do wrong.
So what I've seen, I'm sure is what you've seen, but sometimes I always say some of our seniors don't really, they don't remember that. Some of them say, oh, I didn't even know it was there, but this is some of it that I've seen.
Right, right.
I've seen this. Let me just kind of, I've seen that.
Right. And then why is that not safe?
Well, because you have your nose, because if you're breathing like this, all your air is coming out.
Right.
And where is it going?
All over the place.
All over the place.
Right, right.
Now, a better mask, these are very good masks. These are 3-layer masks, and I'll just take it off here. Don't mind me. I won't touch you.
Right, right.
It has some sort of elastic around, right?
Oh, okay.
And around on this side, but it also has a mesh inside that will help mold. So I'm gonna put it on. So most of the time, I like to hold my mask using on the handles, right? And I bring it closer to my face and put it on. Now, the putting on is okay. And always remember, wash your hands prior to doing this, right?
Right.
And what I do is, there is a little metal inside, and what I do is pinch it around my nose to create a seal. And I like to hold on here and make sure that it's going right underneath my chin there, right? That's creating a nice little seal, and you can see in here that it's very hard for the air to escape, right?
Okay.
Now, that's really protecting me, but it's also protecting the person that I'm speaking with.
Yes.
So, can I take it off now? Now, to take it off, I always go by the ear loops because, again, if I've been talking to you for a while, or I've gone to the mall, I went to see my sister down the street, or I went to see my neighbor down at the village club, right? And I want to change it, and I know I touched it too many times. I wash my hands, right, with hand sanitizer, 15 seconds, 15, do your happy birthday, I don't know if right? And then I like to go from here, because that's the clean side, and away from my face. Try not to shake it like I did, and then I throw it into the garbage. But yeah, that's essentially it.
Yes.
What I want to caution people is, our folks here in the village mostly, is I've seen this. I've seen it in the hair. Oh, wow. I've also seen it down here.
Yes, I've seen that often as well. Yeah.
Right? So.
And so what's it picking up when it's down here? Because they've got it down here because they're going to bring it back up.
Absolutely.
They don't want to lose it. They've got their mask and they've invested whatever pennies they've got into it, and they're going to bring it back right?
Right. So if you've had it down here, then that means everything that's over here, all the microorganisms are going to be here. You've actually touched it, and so you've contaminated yourself.
Right.
Let's not forget, and I want to point this out too, hand washing.
Yes.
Now, before anything, you know how in infection prevention and control, we talk a lot about prevention.
Right.
And what we call routine practices. Routine practices is everything we do every day. Just like, children grow up here in North America. You go to the bathroom. The first thing you do after, you wash your hands.
Right.
I don't know if that happens a lot in, in other developing countries.
Right.
But that's something you're taught.
Right.
It is a routine practice. It's something that's routine that we should be doing. And when we speak about moving forward, as you know, you see countries that are opening up. We see countries that are, you know, even here in Ontario, they are doing the steps of reopening Ontario.
Right.
But how do we gauge our safety? We
Yes.
have to go back to the basics. And the basic is washing our hands.
Okay.
If washing our hands has always been part of the basics. But
Right.
if we look, you've just touched your mask. What's the best thing you can do to prevent yourself from contaminating yourself? It's hand washing.
Okay.
And here in the village, I know we have lots of hand sanitizing stations.
Right.
And I know in our cafe there is a hand sanitizing station. That's where you get your pump, get a nice full pump, lather it up.
Will you illustrate that again for us?
Yes, I would love to.
We'll get to seem to bring in another pump of hand washing.
Thank you. So here's our hand sanitizer. It's 70% alcohol,
Right.
which means it's been approved to.
Okay.
Yes, so we gotta look at that.
So what level is approved and what isn't?
So between 70 and above percent
okay.
alcohol. So
Okay.
this is what we have here at the village and
Right.
you know in the lodge.
Yeah.
Our long-term care side is this hand sanitizer.
And you don't drink it, right?
No, we do not drink it. We do not drink it. It's not gonna do anything for you. It's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not gonna kill the. We know COVID is really air.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to demonstrate that. That's not enough. I like to have lots.
Okay.
Okay. That's a good amount.
Wow, yes.
There is also a dose, but we're not gonna go through that. But if you
Okay.
have that much,
Right.
I think it should be sufficient.
Right.
And what I do is I lather it up, get through all the, and they say to even go
Wow.
further, right? And you do that until it actually dries.
Until it's dry.
Yes. Then you're killing the germs.
Oh, okay.
So there is two ways of hand cleaning,
Right.
if I may say. So you have the alcohol-based hand rub, which is this,
Right.
and then you have washing hands with soap and water.
Yes,
Our
yeah.
classic soap
Yeah.
and water. What it does, so this kills on surface, right?
Right.
And you can only do so many times. Then you have to wash your hands.
Right. Okay.
Now, with hand, when you're using the hand sanitizer, it'll kill what's on the surface.
Right.
That's why you need to get it in there until it dries. My hands are dry now.
Yeah. Now, I do use the hand sanitizer. I do prefer washing hands with the soap and water. I find it a little easier on my skin. Now you mentioned that you can only do this with a hand sanitizer so often. Why would that be?
Well, what happens, it creates a coat on top of your skin, right?
Okay.
So at a certain time, and for healthcare workers, for example, PSWs,
right.
RNs, and RPNs that are at the front line, you're
Right.
having to wash your hands, I think, more than 15 times in your shift,
yes,
right?
yeah.
So if you're only using the hand sanitizer, it won't be as effective
Okay.
after maybe. I always recommend at least 5 times.
Yes.
Then you go wash your hands and then restart.
Right.
And part of it is really taking care of your hands, putting lotion after
Right,
you wash your
right,
hands.
yes.
Because you also, part of hand washing
Yes.
is also hand care, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
So, but yeah, so.
So if we're looking at coming out of a pandemic, assuming that the hand washing, going back to that, is probably one of the best things that we can keep in mind going forward. Is there any other advice for safety? And I mean, we are not out of this pandemic yet. We know that. And we don't know what it's going to be like, but we are hearing stories now that we need to learn to live with it. When it comes to the safety side of things, shopping or family gatherings, that kind of stuff, what advice would you give, if any, for that? for seniors?
Okay, for seniors. Now, as we move forward, and you know, it's been very difficult for
Yes.
most of us, but
Right.
especially the seniors.
Yes.
You're seeing a lot of social isolation. There is a
Right.
lot of depression, and
Right.
there's so much that's happening.
Sadness.
And I think
Yeah.
it's time my advice would be really looking at the risk.
Right.
So part of looking at risk is seeing, hey, is there, because there is that mental component that we have
Yes.
to put into consideration.
Right.
It's nice to go out and shop, but if I'm going to go shopping, what's my risk?
Right.
Do I have a proper mask?
Right.
Do I have hand sanitizer? Do I have access to that, right? If I'm going to see friends and families, am I calling them up and saying, hey, is the baby sick today?
Ah, yes.
Hey, is anyone at home coughing?
Right.
How are you guys feeling?
Right.
I really, really want to see you, but can we meet at a park today? Maybe we can meet at a patio, right? And looking at ways to be able to move forward, but in a safe way. What's
Excellent.
the vaccination status? I know it's very iffy right now, but we know vaccines work, right?
Right.
I know vaccines work.
Yes. Well, you've seen it, right?
I've seen it. I've seen
Yes.
it. I've seen it. You know, here in the village,
Yes.
we were one of the first homes to actually get on board, and our residents were
Right.
some of the first that got vaccinated.
Yep.
And we could see a big change. And so,
Right.
anyway, so part of moving forward is looking at the overall risk for yourself, but also for the people you're going to see. How do I feel today? Do I feel up to par? Do I,
Right.
you know, you have to kind of do a mental check, but also a physical check for yourself in order to gauge, just like we've been in it together, as we move forward, we're in it together. How do we move forward, but
Right.
together in a safe way?
Excellent. Yes. Just bringing this segment closer to a close, I want to say, especially, thank you. Now, someone has mentioned to me that one of the things they love about Jessica is that she is fun-loving, she is lighthearted, with a great sense of humor, and they mentioned a very positive thinker. How has that served you in the last year and a half, going through COVID, or even challenged you?
I think it's always very what should I call it? Helpful to have a great team around you.
Right.
I trust my team. I like to look at ways that we can work together as a community, because we
Right.
are a community here.
Yes.
And the moment I think there is that team aspect, and helping each other, helping our residents, because
Right.
we're at the end of the day, we're here to serve.
Right.
And I always feel that a life without purpose is may as well not be a life. And serving people has
Right.
always been my passion.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm just so glad that I'm here to serve the residents of Shepherd Village, and it gives me joy. It keeps me moving.
Thank you. It is our pleasure and privilege to have you here as a part of the team at Shepherd Village, and I know we in the Spiritual Life Department, as well as every other department, have relied upon people like yourself to give us guidance, navigating a road that we've never been down before, not at this level. And so the smile in your eyes has always been great, but it's nice to see the smile on your face as well.
It was great to see your
So
smile.
thank you for joining us in this segment today. And thank you as well for joining us on Senior Flicks and our expert advice. for taking care of ourselves. Thank you.